Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing my 15 and 16 week pregnancy updates. I'm hoping to be able to keep this up throughout my pregnancy and do every 2 weeks or maybe every 3 weeks, do a little check-in here on YouTube, as much to share this experience with you all as it is for me and documentation on my end. So I have on my notes app on my phone, I have kind of come up with a list of questions that I hope to go over every time I do one of these updates so that there is some sort of structure or rhythm to them. Before I jump in, I did just get my hair cut literally within the past hour. I just got back home from getting my hair cut. It has been growing so fast ever since I got pregnant, and it just was feeling very, very heavy, and I was looking for something lighter and easier for the rest of the spring and summer. So I went ahead and got the big chop, and I'm really, really happy with the way it turned out. Quite a few inches came off, but it just feels so light and it feels a lot more appropriate for the Texas heat that is coming. So I'm really excited about it, but I wanted to address that because I'm sure people are thinking, you look super different. Yep, I got my hair cut. Anyway, we are going to go over weeks 15 and 16 of my pregnancy. I just started week 17 yesterday, so I'm not going to include anything that's happened since the beginning of week 17, only what happened beforehand on the previous 2 weeks. My first trimester recap is kind of encompassed into my I'm pregnant video, so I can pop a link to that above. There is the first comment on that video I pinned to the top because it's a very long video with timestamps. So if you want to hear a little bit more about what the first trimester was like for me, you can go ahead and watch that. So we're just going to pick up starting here at 15 weeks, and then hopefully the next update can be maybe 17 and 18 weeks or something along those lines. So let's just jump right in. The first question, or the first piece of information that I'm going to share in each video, is what size the baby is or was during these weeks. So during week 15, the baby is roughly the size of a pear, and during week 16, the baby is roughly the size of an avocado. Excuse me. They're talking and all of that has just become so strange to me. It's like there's always like a frog in my throat, I feel like. So yeah, pear and an avocado, 15 and 16. Then I was planning on going over how I'm feeling overall. So how I'm feeling overall is during these weeks, was still feeling nauseous sometimes. I definitely feel like the tables turned, or I turned the corner from the deep trenches of first trimester nausea sometime in this 15, 16 week time span. And I began to feel much better. However, I definitely still had a few days where I was very, very sick, very nauseous, vomiting episodes and things like that. It's just so not fun. I am on medication for nausea, and I take that every night, and that does make a big difference. And I have tried it all. I have tried ginger ale, I have tried crackers, sour things, sweet things, fizzy things, flat things. I mean, the C-bands, like essential oils. I mean, people keep sending me these messages of these like things that are gonna cure my nausea, and I just have pretty much known that it's just gonna be time, and that has definitely rung true. Of course, there have been things that have helped curb it a little bit, but overall, no. Sucking on sour candy does not get rid of it. You know, it's like really bad nausea. I just feel sick. And so, but I definitely feel like I'm turning a corner. Sneak peek. Now that I'm in week 17, it's been crazy to see. I've been feeling so much better. But during 15 and 16, I really wasn't feeling super well. During these weeks, I felt very, very exhausted, just fatigued beyond belief. It is this crazy fatigue where as soon as I decide that I need to lay down and take a rest or a nap, I need to lay down and rest and take a nap like immediately. I don't feel like I have time to like get a few more things done. My body just starts kind of shutting down. I also was going to bed very, very early during these weeks. I am usually definitely a night owl, and I rarely, if ever, get in bed before midnight in my normal life. That's generally my rhythm of my life, is I get in bed right around midnight, and I sometimes go to bed at midnight or 1. And that's me. That's just who I am. I've been like that for a very long time. However, I have just been so exhausted, and so I end up getting in bed a lot earlier, and some nights going to bed and being asleep by like 10, which for me is very, very early. But it definitely helps. It helps with the nausea, just helps with how I'm feeling. During these weeks, I was really starting to feel hopeful because I could feel that the nausea was beginning to lift a little bit. And so I was starting to feel hopeful that maybe I would feel better. And like I said, sneak peek, I am feeling better. Not 100%, but definitely a lot better. Okay, food craving. I'm sorry if I'm touching my hair a lot. It's new, it feels different, you know, and so I'm like hyper aware of it right now. The next thing I wanted to go over were food cravings and aversions. Now, the thing that's funny is that I can definitely identify the cravings. Aversions, there are just so many of them. There's so many things that just totally gross me out, and they change day to day and even hour to hour. Sometimes, you know, Riley will say, hey, let's have this for dinner in the morning, and I'll say, that sounds great, and then the evening will come and I couldn't eat that thing if my life depended on it. And so there have definitely been a few things that stick out to me as aversions, like hot dogs have really grossed me out in the past couple of weeks, and eggs really grossed me out, although last night I ate a scrambled egg, and I ate like half of one, I should say. It was okay. It wasn't great. But yeah, definitely some fruit aversions. My cravings have been Starbucks chocolate croissants. If you've never had a Starbucks chocolate croissant, they are, first of all, just so delicious. I love them. The chocolate that's used is, I don't know if it's dark chocolate or semi-sweet chocolate or what, but it's not overly sugary and sweet. It's just this like rich, oh, I just love Starbucks chocolate croissants so much. And I have eaten so many of them during weeks 15 and 16 of my pregnancy. I mean, like a lot of them. I find myself at Starbucks picking up one of those quite a bit. They just, something about that like buttery, flaky, dry croissant, but with the little bit of sweetness of chocolate in it, it just speaks to me, and it sits really well and it fills me up, which is weird because usually it wouldn't, but I don't know. So I've been eating a lot of those. Also very, very cold ice water. I usually love room temperature water, and I usually actually prefer room temperature water, but in weeks 15 and 16, it has had to be ice cold. I mean, I fill up my glasses with ice all the way to the top and then add just a little bit of water, and as the ice melts, I'll sip on it. But really, definitely very, very cold ice water. Lemonade has been a big craving of mine throughout the entire pregnancy so far. It's something that I've really enjoyed. I've always liked lemonade. This is not like a brand new thing that I've liked, but I have never craved lemonade the way that I crave it now. I really want lemonade like all the time. So we almost always have a thing of lemonade in the fridge, and right now it's strawberry lemonade, which is super, super good. And then the last cravings that I've had are for strawberries and for watermelon. So lots of cold, sweet, icy, you know, lemonade, strawberries, watermelon, cold water, things like that. Very sweet. I've definitely had more of a sweet tooth, which is apparently more of like old wives' tales. Apparently, if you are craving sweet things, then you're more likely to have a girl. Although all those old wives' tales are just like, every time I do one of those lists where they have all the old wives' tales listed out, it's almost exactly 50-50. For, you know, things that are markers for that you're having a girl and things that are markers for having a boy. But our next appointment, we will find out whether the baby is a boy or a girl, and I'm really looking forward to that. The next category I have are physical changes. So you probably can't tell right now because I have a ring light up, which blasts out any imperfections in your face, which is why YouTubers like them so much. But I have had the worst acne of my life this pregnancy, and it definitely flared up during weeks 15 and 16. Horrible, horrible, horrible acne. And there's not a lot that you can do when you're pregnant. I've tried some different products, pregnancy safe products, things like that, but you really can't do a lot because the stronger chemicals that really can help attack that acne are not great for pregnancy. So I've found some things that have kind of worked for me in kind of keeping it at the lowest amount, but I still am definitely dealing with, like, each morning I wake up and pretty much each morning I have some kind of new breakout. It's really not fun at all. But yeah, so really bad acne, and it's very hormonal. It's right along my chin, the sides of my mouth, that kind of thing. It's no fun. It's no fun. But that's definitely been a physical change that I've noticed because I've had adult acne for years, but it's been like a little thing here, a little thing there, and lately it's been full-blown breakouts quite a lot. Luckily I have good concealer, and like I said, this ring light I'm sure is hiding it pretty well, but don't be fooled. Do not be fooled. Another physical change that I've noticed my whole pregnancy, but definitely in the past few weeks, has been just very, very dry lips. I feel like my lips have just been so much drier in the past couple of weeks. And so I have been really working on drinking as much of that very cold ice water as I can get down during the day. And then I also at night, and of course I've been using, moisturizing lip products during the day, but then also Carmex, which is just like that little yellow, old school, my dad always uses Carmex. And I have been using that at night, and it's great because it really kind of puts a barrier on my lips. I felt like that has helped a lot. Another physical change that I've noticed is my belly has gotten a little bit bigger. It's not anything big and huge to write home about, but it's definitely slowly growing, and I'm slowly getting that little bump. I have never to this day yet had a stranger or someone I don't know notice that I'm pregnant. I don't think that I really, when I'm walking around, I don't think I really look pregnant, but I can feel it because clearly I know my body and I know what I normally look like and how I normally feel. So I can definitely feel my belly, but lots of stretching and pulling sensations around my lower abdomen and my lower back. I can feel my body actually expanding as this baby is growing, which has been really cool. Sometimes it's a little painful, and then that round ligament pain is sharp, and that can be really painful. But this just the general like achy stretching sensation, that is something that definitely was huge throughout weeks 15 and 16 of my pregnancy. Another physical change that has been so interesting to me is that my sensitivity to caffeine has decreased significantly. If you don't know, before I got pregnant, I was highly, highly, highly sensitive to caffeine. A very small amount of coffee or something that was caffeinated would make me feel very edgy and shaky and nervous. And so I basically, sometime last year, cut caffeine out completely. Basically, like I said, I still eat chocolate sometimes. I'll still have a Coke sometimes, things like that. But on a day-to-day basis, I opt for either non-caffeinated things or decaf things. Well, I went to Starbucks the other day to get I've done this a couple of times now, so I've tested my theory. But a few weeks ago, I went to Starbucks to get my chocolate croissant because it's the only thing I could think about putting in my mouth that morning. And I love getting a tall iced caramel macchiato, but I usually get a tall decaf iced caramel macchiato as a little treat every once in a while. The decaf machine was down to pull espresso, and so they said, well, we only have regular, and I thought, oh gosh, I don't know how that's gonna go. But I once I said it and ordered it, I just had to have it. So I said, that's fine, you can just give me the regular one. So they gave me the regular one, and I drank it, and I didn't feel jittery at all. And I thought, gosh, that's so weird. And so a couple days later, I went and ordered another just tall, like the smallest, a tall at Starbucks is the smallest size. Well, not the smallest size, but it's the main smallest size. And so I ordered another tall drink that was caffeinated, and I didn't order it decaf. And once again, I felt completely fine and normal. And I honestly think because my body is so fatigued right now, like I'm working so hard to grow this baby, that I think that the caffeine sensitivity has lifted some because my body can use the extra boost. I'm sure also the way that that caffeine is being metabolized and things like that, because everything's changing, I'm sure that's changed too. But that's been a really interesting thing. I know the rules around caffeine in pregnancy, and I am very, very aware of that. So don't be worried. But there's just been a couple of mornings where I've had like a cup of coffee, a small cup of coffee, and I've been amazed to see that I feel totally normal afterwards. And I just thought, wow, that's what everyone else must feel like in the world, and not feel totally shaky like I usually do. The last physical change that I want to note is that I have been dealing with a lot of headaches. I've been told that they are likely hormonal and that they're really, really, really common, but they're not super fun. They're definitely not super fun. And so I've had to, use ice packs, put ice packs at the base of my neck or over my eyes, and lay in a dark, cool room on several occasions to try to kind of ward off the headache, drink a lot of water, that kind of thing. But definitely headaches have been something that I've dealt with a lot in weeks 15 and 16. The next marker, or the next kind of subtitle on my list here, is baby's movement. And again, spoiler spoiler alert, I have felt the baby move. I felt it move yesterday for the first time, which was exactly 17 weeks, but I had not felt it move yet during weeks 15 and 16. How am I sleeping? I'm still sleeping really soundly. Part of that is because the nausea medication that I'm on is partly a sleeping pill, and so basically, you know, the chemical makeup of it puts me to sleep, which is a good thing, I guess, because you know, I definitely am getting good sleep. The next category I have are new purchases, and I figured this would be a good place to share if we had picked up anything during the week or the past couple of weeks for the baby. I haven't bought anything for the baby basically at all yet. I am waiting to find out if the baby's a boy or a girl, and we're just kind of still trying to figure out what we really need and want and whatever. But for myself, I have bought a few items from Motherhood Maternity. I've bought a few items from Gap Maternity, and I have bought a pack of actually underwear from a brand called Kindred Bravely. And I can link Kindred Bravely below. One of my friends sent me a gift card to Kindred Bravely when she found out I was pregnant, which was really sweet. And she said she just loves their stuff. And I've heard them advertised before on a podcast that I listened to. And they have these really neat, they're maternity underwear, but they look just like normal ones. And just basically in the front, the fabric crosses like this so that when your belly is bigger right here, it just makes it really comfortable. It doesn't cut straight across where it's pulling into your belly. So I've been wearing those a lot, and they're so much more comfortable. I can link those below. They're so much more comfortable, but they don't feel huge and frumpy at all. They feel like totally normal underwear. They just, that crisscross in the front allows room for your growing belly, because even though my belly isn't massive yet, I can feel it, and wearing underwear that goes straight across I find to be pretty uncomfortable. It kind of digs in. So those have been like so great. And then the last thing that I wanted to chat about in these videos are what we are most focused on this week, or most excited about, or thinking about. We have been obsessively discussing baby names lately. I think because we know that we are going to find out if the baby's a boy or a girl really soon, and so we really want to have a name for this little one. We don't need to have it by the time we get to that appointment, but in the next 2 months or so, I would really like to see if we can kind of nail down a name. Now, if the baby is a boy, we have a name and we are really in love with it, and I'm pretty sure that that's the name that we will go with, like probably 90-ish% sure. We both really like it. We've spoken it, you know, and talked about the baby with that name if the baby's a boy, and we just really like it. So I think we're pretty set on the boy name. We have 3 girl names that we really like, and we have kind of rolled them over. So we're definitely less set on the girl name category. So we've been talking about that a whole lot. And then of course, what we're focused on is that we are coming up on the sex reveal, and we get to find out if the baby's a boy or a girl. And genuinely, we do not care. We just want to know. Like, I just want to know so much. It's like one of the first things that I'll get to find out about my baby, about my son or my daughter, which is so special. And I'm just so excited. I'm so excited to find out and be able to start thinking more about the nursery, maybe pick up a few things like that. So we're just really excited for that appointment and getting to find that news out and share that with our family and friends, and then of course share with you all. I know there are lots of people who are team boy who follow my channel, and lots of people who are team girl. I will say that from the beginning, in my very early pregnancy, I had a very strong gut feeling that the baby was a boy. And I didn't mention this in my pregnancy video because since then, so that was the very beginning of my pregnancy, I thought I really think this baby's a boy. And as time has gone on, there have been days where I have been totally convinced that it's a girl. And so then it became this weird thing where I totally like neutralized either side. And now I just feel completely lost and in the dark. So my initial gut reaction when I found out I was pregnant was that the baby was a boy. And part of me thinks, it might be because it's a boy, and maybe I did have more mother's intuition than I gave myself credit for. Watch it be a girl. But I think part of that is because my sister is pregnant and she is having a baby boy. And so part of me, I think, just like associated. And then also, those of you who followed along with my vlogs, my friend Jenny had a baby. He's going to be 2 next month, y'all. 2 years ago, she had a baby boy named Theo, and I am very, very, very close with him, and I spend a lot of time with him. And I just adore that baby. I adore him. And so because I have these like 2 baby boys like very close to me and like in my, you know, field of vision, partially I think that's why I think I could imagine myself with a baby boy. But then I have had like a couple of moments. I had one dream that I was having a girl. I've had a few family members who have dreamt that it's a girl, a few family members who have dreamt that it's a boy. I just want to know. I just want to know. So that's something that we're definitely focused on in the past couple weeks. Riley has 0 input whatsoever. When I ask him, what do you think? What do you think it's going to be? He's like, I think it's going to be a boy or a girl. And I'm like, but do you just take a guess? Like, what do you think? And he's like, I don't want to be wrong. I don't know. I'm like, okay. So he doesn't really think it's fun to play along. Like, I think it's fun to kind of wonder and guess. And there are reasons why I would love to have a little boy, and there are reasons why I would love to have a little girl. We're just excited to have a child in our home. Whoever this baby turns out to be, we're so excited about it. But that's definitely something we've been talking about and just, you know, chattering about with people, and it is definitely fun to wonder who this baby is. But that is my 15 and 16 week pregnancy update. I will insert a little shot of my bump here so that you can see it. It is definitely rounding out. I can feel my hips widening some, and I can feel it, but it's not, you know, a real traditional popped, bumpy pregnant belly quite yet. I know I'll get there probably in the next month or so, but that's what's going on in my neck of the woods, in our world with this pregnancy. I thought I would do these little updates, like I said, every 2 or 3 weeks. Thank you so much for watching. I would love to hear if you have anything to share that you want to share below. Would love to hear from you. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.